Okay, the final host, avenging the primordial sins. So, if you enjoy good story writing, I enjoy good story writing. And in terms of comic books, this is an excellent story, right? This is a great story, and I really enjoyed it. So, I wanted to break this down because it's packed full of a lot of mythology, which I think is great. So, this story starts off challenging the idea that the earth was this cradle of life, but instead was a cosmic mistake. That the gods of creation, the celestials, were not these benevolent architects, but careless scientists whose errors birthed this like dangerous abnormality. This is what this book's like underlying context is. It really defines the origin of life on Earth in a way that changes like the myth of Marvel going forward. It's a very important story as they kind of do this retcon. And you have to really look at the idea of the Celestials being something that tainted the Earth. They made it this cosmic aberration. So let's start kind of getting to where it comes from. The idea of Earth's origin and superhuman potential is rooted in the death of a celestial called the Progenitor, who crash landed on Earth and infected the Earth with a cosmic disease. This is the retcon for the reality of the world. The idea that Earth's evolutionary abnormalities are part of some reaction. This is an external contamination. This is not part of a grand design that we would evolve and we would produce mutants and super beings. Right. So there is a subconscious link there, I think, to indigenous ecosystems. When you get some foreign invasion during like colonization, and you have this species that obviously then disrupts the natural order, right? So there's a lot in there. There's also some draws to like real mythology creation stories where gods did things that unintentionally altered life. Prometheus giving fire to mankind, right? The Grigori like intervention in biblical lore. And you get this concept of this celestial infection that forces humanity to inherit all this power and all this chaos. So in this story, these planet-killing dark celestials are sent to Earth to clean up this mess. And this, of course, goes right into like our apocalypse stories, like beings sent to wipe away a corrupted civilization. Right, these are myths we hear in like the Great Deluge or Ragnarok or other divine stories, or even if we get into the whole like the large part of the alien stories when they introduce the engineers. This is what this really speaks of, which says a lot about like us mentality, this myth telling. So this is to cleanse the earth narrative, which takes us back to flood myths, biblical punishments. These celestials embody the wrath of the cosmic forces who see Earth as a cancer, an abnormality that has to be erased. This is what this retcon of the universe is telling us. So of course you position the Avengers here. These are not heroes. These are Earth's adaptation. This is its immune system response to these cosmic threats. So we can link all this idea of mythological heroes who are champions of balance and order, but these are not. This is a biological defense system against cosmic entropy. And we start to see some tie-ins, and it brings a lot of levels of humanity together. Thor being this connection to divine retribution, and his ancestors have a tie to the Celestials themselves. Iron Man represents this science attempts to understand and control cosmic chaos. Doctor Strange represents this guardian of mystic balance and cosmic, amid this cosmic upheaval. Ghost Rider is also integral and embodies like divine judgment all the way through. So there's a lot of parallels that we see, in some mythological framework. It is the instrument or fate of will. It's destined to protect this corrupted world from annihilation. That's essentially what they're doing. They are the avatars of Earth's evolutionary abnormality, right? They are the inheritance of the progenitor's infection that grant superhuman abilities. That's what the output of all this is. These things are the wrong. They're the corrupt in a lot of ways, like we saw the stories about the giants and the demigods, the Nephilim. This is where those stories come from. So I love that part of mythology. Now Loki again is always, because it's got a host of characters. So Loki's a part of this. And he plays the role again of the trickster manipulator who kind of sets all these events in play. And the trickster often serves as agent of chaos that expose cosmic truth. This goes back to Norse mythology, Anasazi of African folklore. So I love that. And Loki positions as a catalyst who forces Earth's heroes to confront their true origins and question whether they are the saviors or they are ultimately the threat. This is what comes out of it. And, so it becomes a judgment and survival. This is the eternal dilemma. The Avengers struggle to prevent this annihilation while grappling with the moral implications of defending a world that was not meant to be. This is what they have to say. This is a lot of existential guilt. We're talking humanity's power and progress come at the direct expense of cosmic balance. That's a lot of weight. So they explore some narratives as being both a victim and a perpetrator of cosmic contamination. This is a world caught in this divine crossroads at the very apex of it. So the real legacy of it, I think, is it's a really well-founded story. I think if you enjoy the mythology, some of the mythology, and I think you'll see some of these themes in here. I think it's a great selection of how they work the characters. There's a lot of characters. I just Black Panther's part of the story, obviously Iron Man, the Avengers, Thor, Captain Marvel. You can see Ghosty. So it's just a well-written story all the way through. I checked it out in Kindle, and I'm giving this a nice definite thumbs up. This is a book, this is a comic series, great art, but to me it's the story, the impact of the story that really wow, we're the bad guys, we're the corruption all of a sudden. So man, just an interesting take on the story. Just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on it. Definitely check it out, and let me know if you have any input on your thoughts in this great series.